The most interesting thing about the bubonic plague is that during the Black Death period from 1346 to 1353, it caused more death in the sparsely populated rural areas than in the densely packed urban ones. This is the exact opposite to most infectious diseases that we know about, where the more dense the population, the greater the spread and the greater the mortality. But the bubonic plague was different, and that's because of the way this bacteria spreads. Plague is caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, which lives in fleas that live on black rats that like to live near humans and civilization. The fleas come down with the plague too, and they become so filled with a bacterial biofilm that when the flea bites the rat, it vomits the bacteria back into the rat. As the plague spread from the Caspian Sea through to Europe, the rats on the ships that would dock at port would disembark and go join the local colonies. Their fleas would infect all the local rats, the rats get sick with the plague and die. In about 2 weeks, all the rats are dead. The remaining fleas have nothing left to feed on, and so after about 3 days of starving, they turn to the next best thing, which in this case is humans. The reason why more people died in the smaller towns and villages was precisely because there was fewer people there. A large amount of fleas from the rats would have fewer humans to latch onto, therefore more fleas per human, more bites, and larger doses of bacteria. On a small farm, there might be 2 parents and a couple of kids, say 10 people at most, to handle all the starving fleas from all the rats. Well, in a city, the same number of fleas per rat would have a human population of potentially thousands to bite, so fewer fleas on average per person and a lower dose of bacteria. We can see this being true in the population graphs of locations all over Europe, from France and Italy to Spain and England. This is also a big indicator that most of the plague spread was from fleas to humans and not pneumonic form, which would be human to human. Pneumonic spread of the plague from human to human would probably show a greater mortality in more dense areas, just like every other airborne pathogen that we know about. Plague also spread less in the winter and less in the more northern countries, which again is opposite to the way most human to human spread infections go, but perfectly lines up with how we know ones spread by insects appear.